Hi, it's James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at Behext, which is a 3 to 5 player game published by Smirk and Dagger Games. In this game, you're going to be spell slinging. You're going to be trying to knock out the willpower of your opponents and have the most willpower by the end of the 4th round. You're going to be doing a deck building style game over these 4 rounds, getting new spells, powering up the hex there, and hoping it doesn't come back and blow up in your face. Let's go down the table. I'll give you a brief overview of how the game plays, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, this is the Behext game. This is a 3 to 5 player game that takes about 15 minutes per player to play. I have it set up for 3 players here. Basically, what you're going to do to start off the game is you're going to select your spell slinger, which is going to be a bunch from here. You're going to put your little marker on the 5 spot, and each of them are going to have their own ability. So like this one here is Aethermancer, Conjure Craft. Yours is the power of spell weaving from the very ether. So you're going to have this guy on here. You're going to have these different things here for standing effects, draw deck. So you have my draw deck over here, discards, played cards, and effects. So you're going to get that. You're going to get your little marker on here. You're going to set out these little tokens here, which are going to be for the spell slinging. And you're going to roughly separate the deck out into these 4 little decks here and flip the top one over. Now your starting deck here. So your starting deck is going to be the same for every player except for 3 cards. So you're going to, and you notice I'll say core on the bottom here. You're going to get 2 of these turn aside right. So you're going to move the hex to the right. You're going to get 2 of these deflect across. So you're going to send it across. You're going to get 2 of these turn aside to the left. And you're going to get 1 draw fire, which sends it across plus draws you a card. Then you're going to take a look and you have your little symbol here, which will match your player. And you'll get those 3 cards, and these are unique for each player. These are your special ability that you'll get for that player. And you'll shuffle this up, and once everyone has that, you're ready to start the game. Now, this game is all about spell slinging. You want to sling this hex around the board here, and you don't want it to go off on you. So you will do everything you can to pass it off. You might even strengthen it because you know that you're pretty confident it won't end up on you to do even more damage to another opponent. And you're going to do this 4 times, so over 4 rounds. So each round is going to resolve with this hex exploding on someone and causing damage. You're going to pick someone who's going to be the first caster, so that's going to be the first caster here, and I'll switch off per round here, but that player is going to figure out who they want to hex. Now they're actually not going to play a card to hex that person. They're just going to say, hey, you get to go, and the player who currently has the hex gets to play the cards. So let's say for the example here, it actually comes to me first. So this was the first caster, and they have hexed me. All right, so I'll immediately, all players here will have drawn 5 cards. So I have 5 of my 10 cards here. Now, if I drew a card, let's say I drew a card, there should be one in here somewhere, with this symbol right here, that immediately happens. So that will come down and I draw a card. And this one actually has there's green and then there's gold. Some of them just immediately happen. This one will have standing effect on here because hexes you pass cannot be immediately returned to you. So that's an ability that I'll have. So if I had one of those, I'd have to play it, which I don't. So now I get to choose a couple different things. So these are the cards that I have in my hand. I have a turn aside left. I have a turn aside right, 2 turn aside rights, deflect across, and restore, which is special for my character because you can see the symbol right here. So I can gain 1 willpower, which is your health on here. If below 5 willpower, or 2 willpower if below 0. So you can actually go to -5 willpower in this game. The first thing I can decide to do is I can conjure. So I can discard as many as I want of these, and I can pay for some of these cards. I do have to discard to get something, but like this one here is a 0. This one here is a 2. So if I wanted this one, I could discard this card. So I put it in my discard pile. And I could spend one of my points there if I wanted to, which is really not great, to gain this card. And it would go straight to my hand. So unlike other deck builders, this would go straight to my hand. So I burned my turn aside. Now I need to get rid of this hex or it'll explode on me. So I could use this one. I could wither. The intended must discard a card from their hand before responding. So that one's neat. This one here, turn aside right, deflect across. So you know what? I'm going to give it back. I'm just going to deflect it across. So I will discard this card to, oh, that goes, sorry, it goes to play cards to deflect across. Now, if it comes back to me and I'm out of cards and I can't deflect it, it will explode on me. And that will end the round. If I can deflect the spell, I have to. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And there's cards in here that will amp up your hex here. So give it more power too. So that's something to keep in mind. And there's like curses or reversals or other cards like that will affect how this thing goes off. So let's say it ended on me. The hex would detonate. And the player who cannot pass it, it would detonate on me. Okay, so the other thing is if I hold any red cards in my hand, so these are these cards right here, these are curse cards, I'll have to play one of them. And this one here is pretty bad. It reduces my damage by 1 willpower, and I can counter any card for free. However, this is basically negative points too, which is bad. So if I want to play one of the two of these, if I only had one curse card, I'd have to play that single curse card. And willpower exchange. The player who just passed the hex will gain 1 willpower, which this is your points in the game, so 1 willpower. And the person that lost will lose a willpower. Now, effects on these can make me lose more than 1 willpower, but the person who finished me off in that won't gain more than 1 willpower. They only gain 1. I could lose more. Recover any player who has not been behexed and has played only 1 or fewer deflections, standard or enhanced, into their play area will gain 2 willpower. So you can gain 2 willpower. 2 if you weren't the person that did the final blow and you met that criteria. So the last thing you're going to do is you're going to move this marker here forward 1. All right, next you're going to do the gathering. Starting with the first caster and proceeding clockwise, each player may conjure 1 spell card from the conjure wheel, which is what I was showing you up here that I destroyed. If you have cards remaining in your hand, total their conjure power, and you can then get a card. And you can add your conjure power of any charms you have played, plus you can also lose 1 willpower to gain in there. If you have no cards and you have no charms, you may not conjure a last card during this round. You then continue on here. You're going to, after everyone's got theirs, you're going to remove these from the game and you're going to flip over new cards here. So on all 4 of these. And you're ready for another round. You'll draw up to your 5 cards. If you're out of cards, you're going to shuffle in. You'll take your discards, your played cards, and your standing effects. They'll all go into your discard pile. You'll shuffle up your cards if you can't draw enough, and you'll have your 5 cards. You're going to continue this on to the 4th round. And at the end of the 4th round, the person with the most willpower at the end of the game is going to win. Now, one of the cards I did want to show off in here is Null, and you can play Null to basically cancel the last card played. So you can cancel out a card if they're targeting you, and then that player has to play a different card. So Null is a really cool card that you can play in the game. There's a couple tiebreakers too, though, if you're tied for willpower. So basically, normally the person with the highest willpower wins. If that's not the case, and 2 people are tied or more, The deck with the highest total conjuring cost of all the cards combined will then win. And then if it's still tied, the deck with the fewest core cards will win. So that was Behext, to just simply give you an idea of the game. Not really super in depth, but I will let you know that there's these mastery decks that are really, really cool. And there's 4 of them that come in the game here. And after you've played your first game, you can bust these guys open and you can play with these ones and have like a super competitive version of the game here. The game itself comes with 6 casters to begin with, which is really cool. But yeah, so super nutshell, that's going to be how you play Behext. Let's go ahead back up the table here and I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, so Behext, component quality is great for this game. The card quality is good. I like the little player sheets on there, and the mastery decks that you get in those mastery packs are awesome. This game is really easy to teach and really easy to get into. I highly recommend playing the game like 4 or 5 times with the base decks there and the base characters before you get into those mastery decks in there. There's a ton of replayability in this game. So this is a game that can keep getting to your table over and over again. So if you're looking for like a lightish weight combat game, this game is probably going to be up your alley, especially if you like deck building and you like a nice form of take that. So that's my thoughts on Behext. Thank you for watching.